All right, everybody, buckle up, because today we are taking a deep dive into Buckcherry's Crazy Bitch.
It's a fascinating one.
It is. You know, it's one of those songs you hear and you sing along to. And then when you really stop and listen to the lyrics, you're like, ooh, there's a lot to unpack here.
Indeed.
So we're going to do that today.
I
We're going to
think so.
unpack the lyrics. We're going to see what kind of a story they're telling us about desire, maybe about power dynamics in a relationship, and maybe even about how we perceive each other in those heated moments.
Yeah, it's a very specific type of encounter that's being described here.
It is.
Yeah.
And you know, we're introduced to this relationship, or I should say this encounter, right away in the song.
Right.
Immediately, you know, the very first verse, we meet our narrator, and he's completely smitten with this woman.
Yeah.
He's immediately like, wow, you're beautiful, you're lovely, your face, like, I can't get over it. And then, you know, we get a line about how you're so good.
Yeah. It's very interesting how quickly it moves, though, from that kind of almost romanticized
Totally.
type of description to this very, I guess, blunt assessment of the situation.
Raw, yeah.
And the repetition of that particular phrase really, I think, colors the rest of the song.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, too, because we're talking about, you know, how women are so often labeled crazy
Refreshing.
when
Right.
when they're expressing their desires, setting boundaries. And this song really does seem to play into those stereotypes a little bit.
I would say so. Yeah, it's almost as if he needs to kind of control the narrative a little bit by labeling her in this way.
Yeah.
Because if she's the crazy one, then that kind of excuses whatever behavior is going on his part.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that really comes through in the language of the song, too. I mean, you have these blunt, almost vulgar terms,
Yeah.
you know, that are used right alongside these, you know, these lines about you're so fine. And he's dreaming about her.
Yeah.
There's this real contrast there.
There is. It's almost like he's trying to convince himself that it's something that it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a real internal struggle that you can almost feel in the lyrics.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can't talk about the lyrics without talking about that line, you know, the scratches all down my back to keep me right on. It's such a powerful image.
It's very visceral. Yeah.
It is. But the question is, who has the power in that scenario?
Right.
Because you can interpret that as her, you know, she's in control, she's marking her territory, so to speak.
Yes. Or is it, you know, this kind of implication that it's a transactional relationship? He says one night paid in full.
Right.
So is it more about the fact that he's the one who can walk away?
And she's left there with, as he says, cashing in the rocks.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it really makes you think about, you know, the roles that we play in these kinds of situations.
It really speaks to our sort of pre-programmed ideas about, you know, male and female
Absolutely.
power dynamics.
Absolutely.
It's really fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Yeah.
And it's, I think, a good reminder that, you know, sometimes a catchy song can have a lot more going on beneath the surface.
Absolutely.
So listeners, that's something to think about, right? The next time you have that song stuck in your head, really listen to those lyrics. You might be surprised what you discover.
You might be surprised at how relevant it still is today.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep those deep thoughts flowing.